legs. Any good leg day starts with an amount of stretching. I'm just not very flexible. Like, genuinely, dude, it's always been my weakest point. I've just never really had any interest in being able to do them. Classic split today. A very formative one that's good for all of the muscles. 2 calf exercises, some extensions, some curls, and a hack squat. That's it. I've always really hated this machine because I've had long hair for a majority of my life now, and this just clamps down on the hair. Also, I have no idea what kind of weight I'm gonna be able to do. Let's start humble at 75. Just kind of feeling it out here, seeing what this feels like. I'm gonna jump a whole 100 pounds. We're gonna do 175. I also think it's probably gonna be smart to put on my shoes here. If you're new here, I don't like really wearing shoes while I exercise. I don't know, bro, it makes more sense to be all natural. I'm joking, but I actually don't know what it is. It's just like an inherent thing that makes sense to me. And then after we do this, we're gonna do the seated ones that are right here. My calves don't look like much, but they've always been quite strong. So hopefully I can do this. We're jumping 100 pounds. So if this is too heavy, it's somewhere in there. Ooh, yeah, we'll just stay here. Ooh. 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 Whew. I could have done a couple more reps, honestly, but I'm worried that I will evaporate my calves a little too fast. Yeah, you know, that was lighter than I thought it was going to be. 175 pounds is obviously more than I weigh. So that means I'm doing that body weight with 175 pounds added, and it felt like I could do a couple more reps there. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Standing calf raises are probably one of those exercises where it's like not really a big deal that you're doing a lot of weight because you're not doing a big motion. You do want to make the motion as big as possible. You know, your feet, let's say that this is the pad, right? You'll watch my feet go down below it and then push all the way up. You know, you get that full range of motion. That's what matters the most. You know, all these science-based lifters, everybody, they always talk about the hypertrophy and the pull and the whatever. Just do a full range of motion for fuck's sake, okay? I'm just happy I could do that. Yeah, it was a lot of weight, but it feels like it should be considered a lot of weight, but what do I know, man? Could probably do more too, but honestly, this feels right. It feels like I landed on a weight that makes sense because I can get the reps out and then still walk after. That's important, man. You know, all of these, like the hack squats at the end, I'm spacing them out because you need some amount of calf activation and support for the hack squats. They're not necessarily the most important thing, not even close, but they're literally the support in your ankles, and you will be standing on your ankles. So I'm spacing it out so that I have an amount of time for my calves to take a break before I go into the hack squat. And then next leg day, I get to do belt squat again. Super excited. Ooh. 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 Bah. Ooh. 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 Did you see me? Did you see me? I am doing that. I wonder if you could do it standing this way and have your toes in like here. No, the angle's wrong. Whatever. That's gotta be illegal. That's gotta be not allowed. Kind of like how the Smith machine goes at an angle, you know, maybe something like that. You know, I did the Smith machine last week on last week's last leg day. Let me just say, conventional squat might just not be for me. It's just like you can do all of that you can do squats and not have to worry about that much fatigue. Just do a hack squat. You're working the same motion and you have all that support so you can overload it with more weight. My calves are gonna be so obliterated tomorrow. Ooh. 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 This is an old piece of machinery right here, but I'm sure it works. Should be too easy, but we'll see. All right, that should be right. Okay, time to ride the seesaw. That's what it feels like, at least. Yep. Too light. Get on there. You remember, that animation of Patrick on the like seahorse kids toy machine? That's what this feels like. Man, do these work. Yeah, so I learned this back in high school when I took a weight training class in high school. That's where I got my big break, big dump of knowledge on me. Took it in high school. Your seated calf raises and your standing calf raises work two separate parts of the calves. Your seated ones, I'm pretty sure I have, like dyslexia, so it affects a lot of things. But what I do know is that one of them affects the interior part of the muscle and the other one uses the exterior part of the muscle. Basically, it's like it's a layered muscle, right? One part of the muscle is like interior and then there's the other one like wrapped over it. So they both work individually more on one part of the calf. So that means to get the truly good calves, you have to do both. It's a weak point in my physique, not just because of like genetics, which I do have. I think it's because like there are two types of people when growing up. Those are those who are skinny and those who aren't, right? Nobody grows into a muscular build. It just doesn't I'm pretty sure it's happened maybe once or twice because of genetic conditions, but it just doesn't happen, right? So that means you're one or the other. I was skinny. Skinny kids don't have calves. So that means I have to work double time to get them. Ooh. 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 Oh. Ooh, goodness. Okay, we're good. This angle is pristine, but now it's time for the absolute amazing machine that is the hack squat. Oh, maybe I should do like a warm up with the machine first. Yeah, let's do that. I'll be smart. I wish there was a lower setting. I don't think you can make one on here. Yeah, sadly, no. The motion's just difficult, all right? You can do a lot of weight on this thing. Probably more than you think you can. It's just that the motion itself is so strenuous. That's why it's so good. Where the hell? There we go. I should be able to do more than a plate because this is my first quad exercise of the day. Should we just put more on to start? Question indeed. You know what? Part of me just wants to put on 2 plates and see if I can do it. Because I'm the one who has to take off the weights if I fail. You know what? Let's do it. Confident I can move this. How many times? Not even a clue. I have no idea. I think I'll be able to get it up, especially since I've learned that it's totally acceptable on this machine to kind of bounce off the bottom. You hit the stopper and it goes bong, and that's how you know you've gone all the way down. Because like it gives you a little bit of a head start on the way up, and apparently that's like socially acceptable. Yeah, you kind of need that on this machine because of how hard it is on your body. So overall, we've learned some tips and some tricks on this exercise. Plant your heels overall. and hitting the bottom with a little bit of force is not necessarily a bad thing. Because on that way up, you can just explode up if you really want to. Just don't lock out your knees. I'm gonna put on my PR song because this is gonna be a personal record, but I am gonna get it. Without question, I am going to get it. Ooh, ah. Ooh. That is a PR on squatting any amount of weight. And I didn't hurt myself at all. That's good. I'm gonna go down to, an amount of weight that I can actually get up from this position real quick. Ooh, a fail on, which is nice. Ooh, all right. This also would have been a PR, but I think I was just too scared to really try my luck. So apparently my max on squat, or at least with a hack squat, is 2 plates for a 1 rep max. That's cool. Now we know that, and we can move forward knowing I can do that, and that once I can no longer only do that, being, 2 plates and so on, then I'm getting stronger. I'm gonna shoot for about 5 reps on both sets. Ooh. Ooh. One more. Yeah, that would have been a PR. So obviously I undervalue or underestimate my leg strength. It's still a personal record, and it's still something to congratulate myself on to an extent, obviously. Definitely glad I did this first so I can know what my, the extent of my ability is. 3 minutes, and we'll go again. Have you guys ever seen that dude online? I think he's a ginger, actually, who only works legs. Like, he doesn't do anything else. What a unique build. Like, the memes of people being like, how do you even acquire this form when making fun of people? Like, legit, what went through this guy's head where he was like, yeah, I want to be this test subject. Nope. Dang it. I think that's a sign that we're all done. All right, don't hold your breath. It's time for the coolest machine in the entire gym, all right? It's not embarrassing, nor is it a little strange. The prone leg curls, okay. I guess you are laying prone, makes sense. I have no concept of what I can do on these, so I can do about 65 to 70 to 80 pounds on leg curls. I'm assuming it's gonna be around the same here. So we're gonna go to 70 because the leg curl machine that they have here doesn't really work for me. Messing around with it on a given leg day where I just, can't figure it out for a good 10 minutes. Yeah, hopefully this will bypass that. Maybe it's even better. Had to go to about 50 pounds on that because I couldn't get the bar to touch, my rear end, because apparently that's what you have to do. You have to get it all the way up for the full range of motion. So I went down to 50 pounds so I could get there. Yeah, holy shit. I did some half reps too, just like as a point of habit, usually when doing hamstring exercises or just leg exercises in general where you can do half reps, it makes sense. Especially if you work legs 2 times a week, it means you really care about growing them. Getting those last few movements in adds up. It really does. Because what is it? You only do a certain number of reps every week, right? When you really boil it down. Each exercise, for instance, the leg extensions, okay? I do 3 sets of those on a leg day, which means I only do 6 in a week. So that means to make it really worth it, getting those half reps in at the end, you know, makes it worth your time. At least that's how I feel. So, and again, I'm not a scientist or anything. It's just my personal belief that if you feel something happening, it probably means there's something happening. As long as it's not joint pain. I can taste the iron in my teeth. For some reason, I am training abnormally hard today. And to be honest with you, it's all in my head because I heard somebody say online about, I'm not gonna say which creators, but a couple different creators online where they said, hey, these guys were the best of the best, the top of the top, and they're, you know, current lifters, current bodybuilding pros. And they said these people train harder than everybody else. They put more into each set, each rep than everybody else. Because where my body says it wants to stop, like right there, I think probably 4 or 5 reps before I stopped, my body was like, hey dude, you're probably done. And instead I got 5 or 4 more reps because I don't know, man. I'm barely even started and I don't want to fall behind. And that's one of the things I want to talk about in the video I'm making that I guess necessarily isn't bad, because as long as I don't hurt myself, getting all the reps I possibly can is a good thing. I'm sure it doesn't affect everybody the same. So with that being said, that's kind of crazy that I pushed through 5 or 4 extra reps when I thought I was going to stop and fail. I guess it's probably because this isn't very heavy weight for my hamstrings. They're used to closer to 80 pounds, but this movement's new, which means that, God, I can feel the tension in my hamstrings. It's kind of insane. Whew. One day I'll max out every machine I come in contact with. That is my current goal. Oh, but that'll take you years. No, I'll do it faster. Anyways, enough being super whimsical. Let's do it again. One more set. Ooh. Jesus Christ, that was hard. I think that exercise alone has worked my hammies more than I have this entire year. At least in one exercise, obviously. Wow, I was able to push really hard and the whole time feel like I'm working pretty hard for it. Meaning I probably was, and it was only 50 pounds. I think since this was my first time doing it, I had to do a lower weight to do anything correctly, but I think I could actually go up in weight next time, all things considered. Because that was easy, I could move the weight. It's just that I think my body isn't used to the movement yet, and hopefully it will be now. But now we get to do final exercise of the day, leg extensions. Usually you want to do, for hamstrings, a hip hinge and a curling movement like this, but I don't have enough energy for that, having done 2 calf exercises and maxing out on something that does technically work your hamstrings a little bit. So with that all being said, I think that this is a good place to end it. It's just doing 3 sets of heavy leg extensions. And heavy for me is 120 pounds, but first we're gonna warm up with 45. As high as you can get them without lifting off like that. Ugh. This is halfway through the machine, I'm pretty sure. Cool. I wonder if you're supposed to be able to leg extend yourself, because I'm not, and it already feels like I am doing so much weight. Oh my God. And okay, full transparency. I'm not a sweater. I don't sweat a lot. Like in the gym, no matter what, if I'm breaking a sweat, that means I've been working out really hard. I'm sweating today more than normal. Meaning, we're doing good. Man, this feels heavy. In the best way possible. And I'm still able to do a good amount of reps and get that full extension at the top and let it down slowly. I can taste my teeth, whatever that means. Oh, my poor legs. We still have one more set? No, I don't. No. We're not the same. No. We're not the same, okay? I complain about my sets because I know I'm gonna give it my all and I'm gonna hurt. You complain about your sets because you don't wanna give it your all. We are not the same. And that's why I dread it so much, is my own drive. It's just so frightening. I yap a lot, man. Honestly, if I put as much energy into yapping as I did exercising, I'd be Sam Solik by now. Ooh. Time to go up the stairs. Here's my genuine reaction. Whew. Ooh. You know, I think my hip, for the new people, I have a bad hip. I think my hip is actually getting better the more I work out. You know, it's crazy. You take care of yourself, you get healthier. Golly. That is insane. I mean, for me, it's insane. The calves, yeah. Golly. So we're getting definition up here, which is good. Probably mostly because I'm losing fat. I am getting stronger, but usually you don't get that much definition so quickly without, you know, losing literal actual fat on my body. My legs have always been a strong point. They're pretty big for my body and size. So with that all being said, posing time. Ooh. Yeah, my legs are tired. Okay. Yeah, apparently if you want like super defined hamstrings, that's where the juice comes in. Just kidding. I'm gonna do it. Like I promised, I'm gonna do it. Give me 17 years, I'll be there. No, thanks for watching. My leg days get a lot more attention than everything else. I think it's just because most people don't post their leg days as dudes. It's mostly like, you know, oh, I hit chest with this guy. I hit chest with this guy. No, legs are important. Hit legs, guys. Go to the gym and don't skip your leg day, please. We hit a max today, 2 plates on a squat variant, okay? The belt squat isn't really a squat because you're doing kind of a different movement. It's still technically a squat. It's entirely your quads and glutes. There's some hamstring in there, but not really. So an actual literal squat variant, we hit 2 plates. Awesome, that is a new max. Meaning if I kind of push myself really hard, I probably could do it on maybe a Smith machine as well, which would be really cool. But with that all being said, thank you for being here. Keep an eye out for tomorrow's video. That's right, I post every single day, and if you're here for it, I'm happy you're here. And I'd be even happier if you left a like, subscribed, and stuck around. So wherever you are, have a good morning, evening, or afternoon, and go to the gym later.